Look at Chile on a map and your brain makes a quiet, reasonable, completely wrong assumption that it's a small country. It's the shape that does it. Chile is a thin ribbon pinned between the Andes and the Pacific, so narrow it looks like an afterthought, a sliver you could cross in an afternoon. And you could, east to west. The country averages just 180 kilometers wide. But that thinness hides the single most important fact about traveling here, the one that quietly wrecks more Chilean itineraries than weather, money, or language combined. Chile is over 4,300 kilometers long. It is, in any meaningful sense, the longest, narrowest country on Earth, and the distance from its desert north to its glacial south is roughly the distance from Norway to the Sahara. That's not a metaphor. The Atacama Desert at the top is the driest place on the planet, a landscape so arid that parts of it have never recorded rain. The bottom is Patagonia and the fjords, glaciers calving into freezing water within sight of Antarctica. Between them sits a Mediterranean middle of vineyards and a capital, temperate rainforests, a lake district of volcanoes, and 3,500 kilometers out into the Pacific, Easter Island, which is also Chile. The country contains very nearly every climate that exists on Earth, arranged in a single vertical line. And the thin shape of it on the map fools almost everyone into treating this continental span as one tidy destination. The mistake in Chile is dimensional before it is anything else, and almost every other mistake grows out of that first misjudgment of scale. So let's start there, because if you get this one thing right, the rest of the trip reorganizes itself. The defining error is trying to do Chile, to combine the Atacama, Santiago, the Lake District, and Patagonia into a single 2-week trip, the way you might string together regions of a normal-sized country. People do this constantly. Look at the map, see the narrow strip, and assume it all connects easily. It does not. Getting from San Pedro to Atacama in the north to Torres del Paine in the south is not a scenic drive or a short hop. It's a journey that essentially requires flying the length of the country, often connecting through Santiago, and burns through days and budget at a rate that shocks people who pictured a compact trip. The traveler who tries to see the desert and Patagonia in the same week spends most of that week in airports and arrives at each place too rushed to absorb it. The fix is the same one Chile's geography is practically begging you to adopt. Pick a region, or at most two that are genuinely near each other, and go deep. The Atacama is a trip. Patagonia is a trip. Santiago and the central wine valleys and the coast are a trip. The Lake District is a trip. These are not stops on one itinerary. They are separate countries wearing the same flag, separated by distances that demand to be respected. The people who come home raving about Chile almost always chose one of these and let it unfold. The ones who come home exhausted tried to collect all of them, which leads straight into the second mistake, the one that makes the scale problem worse. Underestimating just how much internal flying Chile requires and what that does to a budget. Because the country is so long and so thin, and because crossing the Andes to the east or the Pacific to the west isn't an option, almost all serious travel runs north-south, and over these distances that means planes. A trip that includes both ends of the country, or even one end plus Santiago, involves multiple domestic flights, and people routinely fail to build this into either their schedule or their spending. Chile is also not the bargain that some of its neighbors are. It's one of the more developed and more expensive countries in South America, and the combination of long internal flights, a higher cost of living, and the premium that remote regions like Patagonia and the Atacama charge for everything adds up far beyond what visitors expect from South America. The shock isn't any single price. It's the accumulation, multiplied by a geography that forces you to fly. The third mistake is about Santiago, and it's the familiar trap of treating the capital as a disposable gateway. But in Chile, it has a specific twist worth understanding. Most visitors land in Santiago, spend a hurried day or none at all, and rush off to the desert or the south, treating the city as an obstacle between them and the landscapes. Santiago genuinely rewards more than that. It's a sophisticated city ringed by the Andes, with strong food, distinct neighborhoods like Bella Vista and La Asteria, and excellent museums. But the specific twist is what surrounds it. Within a short distance of Santiago sit some of the best things in the country, and they get skipped in the rush to the famous extremes. The central wine valleys, Maipo, Casablanca, Colchagua, are world-class and a short drive away. The coast at Valparaiso, the chaotic, colorful, hill-stacked port city that is one of the most characterful places in all of South America, is 90 minutes from the capital. Travelers fly 3 hours to the desert and 3 hours back while ignoring a Valparaiso day trip that is, for many, the most memorable thing they'd have done. The center of Chile is not a layover. It's a region in its own right, and it's the one most consistently sacrificed to the gravitational pull of the north and south. The fourth mistake is treating the Atacama as just a desert and getting the altitude wrong in the process. The Atacama draws people with its otherworldly landscapes, salt flats, geysers, lagoons, the driest air on Earth producing some of the clearest night skies anywhere, which is why the world's great observatories cluster there. But two things consistently catch visitors out. The first is that San Pedro de Atacama and many of its star attractions sit at high altitude. The geysers at El Techo are at well over 4,000 meters, and the same altitude rules that govern the Andes apply here. People arrive thinking desert, picture heat and ease, and get blindsided by altitude sickness at the geysers at dawn because they didn't acclimatize or hydrate. The second is the temperature swing. Deserts are cold at night, and the Atacama, at altitude, gets genuinely freezing after dark, which ambushes travelers who packed only for heat. The desert demands layers and acclimatization, not the shorts and sunscreen approach its name suggests. The fifth mistake belongs to Patagonia, and since the timing of Patagonia is its own deep subject, the mistake here is narrower and worth isolating, assuming the Chilean and Argentine sides are interchangeable and underestimating the border. Patagonia straddles two countries, and many of the best trips cross between them. Torres del Paine on the Chilean side, El Chaltén, and the glaciers on the Argentine side. But the border crossings are real. They take time, they have rules, and Chile in particular has strict agricultural controls. Bringing fresh food, fruit, meat, dairy, even some seeds across the border is prohibited and enforced with fines that surprise people who treated it casually. Travelers who plan a seamless Chile-Argentina-Patagonia loop without accounting for crossing times, document requirements, and these import restrictions get caught out at the frontier. The two sides are complementary, not identical, and the line between them is not a formality. The sixth mistake is one of expectation rather than logistics, and it's specifically Chilean. Assuming Spanish language familiarity will carry you, when Chilean Spanish is its own challenge. Travelers who speak some Spanish, or who've traveled comfortably in Mexico or Spain or Colombia, often arrive expecting to understand and be understood, and find Chilean Spanish genuinely difficult. It's spoken fast, drops the ends of words, and is loaded with local slang and idioms. Chileans themselves joke about how hard their Spanish is for other Spanish speakers to follow. This isn't a reason for anxiety, and you'll get by fine in tourist areas, but the visitor who expected fluency to transfer smoothly can feel unexpectedly lost, and a little advance awareness and patience goes a long way. The last mistake is the one that ties all the others together, and it's the same lesson the map tried and failed to teach at the very beginning. Thinking Chile is one thing. It isn't. It's the most geographically extreme country in the world to try to summarize, and the traveler who arrives with a single idea of what Chile is, a desert trip, or a Patagonia trip, or a wine trip, and then tries to graft the others onto it is fighting the basic nature of the place. The whole identity of Chile is its impossible range. The fact that a single nation reaches from the most lifeless desert on Earth to living glaciers, that it owns a slice of the Pacific 3,500 kilometers offshore, that you genuinely cannot see at all and shouldn't try. The country isn't a destination to be completed. It's a span to be sampled, one extraordinary segment at a time. So the practical version of all this is simple to state and hard to resist. Choose your Chile before you go. Let one region, the desert, the south, the green volcanic lake country, the central valleys, and the coast, be the trip, and give it the days it deserves instead of slicing it thin to make room for a region a Norway to Sahara distance away. Build the internal flights and their cost into the plan from the start. Don't skip the middle of the country chasing the famous ends. Pack for altitude and cold even when the word desert tells you not to. Respect the border in the south. And come in knowing that the thin shape on the map is the single most misleading thing about the entire country. Chile gives an enormous amount to the traveler who understands its scale and almost punishes the one who doesn't. Not with hostility, but with exhaustion, with days lost to airports, with a trip that covered 4,000 kilometers and absorbed none of them. The ribbon on the map is longer than it has any right to be, and that length is not an obstacle to the trip. It's the whole wonder of the place. You just have to stop trying to swallow it whole and pick the stretch you actually came for. Thanks for watching. If you found this useful, smash that like button and subscribe to When to Travel. We're all about helping you make smarter travel decisions. Turn on notifications so you don't miss the next one. And hey, if you think your friends need this, share it. Comment below with your next destination or your biggest travel question. I'm reading all of them. Let's go.